Good morning, class. Today's tutorial, if you will, is about epilepsy, or as it's known in my house, the bane of my bloody life. The story I'm about to tell you is mine and mine alone. I can't relate it to anybody else with epilepsy because everybody's seizures, fits, if you will, are completely different. That there may be some similarities, I don't know. Read into this what you will, but it started like this. I had a brain injury and epilepsy reared its head 9 months. 9 months after the event, never even given it a thought until my left leg started twitching. Nothing more. I felt a bit sick. Then the twitching became shuddering. Just my left leg, only my left leg. I had to sit down because if I didn't I'd fall over. And then my right leg went. Then both legs shot up in the air. My arm started shaking. My whole body started shaking. My heart started pounding at such a rate that I could hear it. I could hear my own heart beating. Then fear took over because every centimetre of my body was shivering, shuddering, shaking, and I couldn't control it. I was trying to keep still, but the more I tried to keep still, the more I shook, the more my heart pounded. And then the shaking just overwhelmed me to the point where I knew I was going to die, and I passed out. Don't know how long later, I've no idea. People tell me it was a few minutes, but I awoke. That particular time I ended up in hospital because I'd never had a seizure before. So, back of an ambulance, straight up to the local hospital. I'd had a seizure. At that point I didn't have epilepsy because I'd only had one seizure. Now apparently anybody can have one seizure. A lot of people do, but that doesn't make it epilepsy. 2 seizures make it epilepsy. And 6 weeks later, number 2 came along. Shuddering, shaking, heart pounding, hearing it, panic, fear, pass out. And the overriding feeling after all of this, both times, was first panic, obviously, and then sleep. It didn't matter what happened. Somebody could have been stood next to me with a loud hailer playing punk rock music in my ear. I'd have slept through it. I'd have slept through World War III. I slept for hours, occasionally a full day, as my body recovered. And this state of affairs continued approximately once a month for 3 years, while the search for the correct medication took a hold. And that was wonderful. Medication, side effects. I put on Christ knows how much weight. Dizziness, nausea, double vision. I once spent 2 weeks wearing an eye patch. Ha ha! That was great. 3 years of this. Toxic medication. Panic, seizures, loss of me. I didn't go out anywhere because I needed to find an escape route if I had another generalised seizure. But then the search came to fruition when a medication was prescribed to me, which I tried, and "19 years later, I still haven't had a generalised seizure." The end. No, not so. I don't have generalised seizures anymore, but I do still have what are known as petit mal. And petit mal seizures go something like this. I'm fine, 110% fine, and suddenly I'll get a sense of smell, a strange metallic sort of smell, and then everything, and I do mean everything, around me has happened before. This is déjà vu on a whole new scale. Every smell, every touch, every taste, every person, every movement, every voice, every word, every sound I've heard before. Every sense of my body mixes into one confusing mess, and then my seizure goes like this. And while I'm in this catatonic state, I can hear people. My wife can chat to me, I can hear them, I know they're there, but I can't reply, I can't respond, I don't want to respond, and even if I could, I'm just totally unable. Nobody would know, unless I put my hand up and say wait. My wife wouldn't know, the children wouldn't know, nobody would know, until a minute, maybe 2 minutes, it passes. Back to reality. But, much like the generalised seizures, sleep overtakes me. I must sleep for hours. I haven't shook, I haven't shuddered, but my brain has just taken on too much information that wasn't even there, and I can't function. And so, to bed. Where I spend most of my life, if truth be told. Hello, sleepy time. And that, my friends, is epilepsy. It's a joy, he says, tongue firmly resting in cheek. And one day, maybe I'll look back and think, do you know, it's years since I last had a petit mal, in much the same way as it's now years since I last had a generalised seizure. But until that day happens, I'll carry on, I'll plod on, life's life, and I'm a happy bunny. Today's tutorial video, call it what you will, is sponsored by The Cat. That's The Cat.